Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to round number 5 of the F1 Esports World Championship on F1 24 in 2025. And as you can see, we're heading towards Silverstone. Historically one of my worst tracks, although I did win there last year, so maybe not historically one of my worst tracks anymore. But let's see if we can repeat last year, so it can become one of my strongest tracks. As you can see, we're heading out really early here in Q1, and there's a lot of people already on laps on the soft, so you might be wondering what on earth are these idiots doing out so early in Q1, and that's because rain is predicted for later on in this session, and that's why everyone has gone out early, just to make sure everyone gets in 2 laps before any rain hits. So yeah, that's why there's 13 minutes left on the clock. Usually we would only leave the garage at around 9 to 10 minutes left on the clock, depending on the track, of course. Spa might be a bit earlier, tracks like Austria will be a lot later. So yeah, warming up our tires nicely here as we prepare our first Q1 run. Standings then after last event, every event containing 4 races. So last time out in Jeddah we finished second with a fast lap, closing the gap in the championship to Ismail Fassi ahead. And yeah, we are now 29 points behind Mercedes. We're behind Williams as well by 13 points. So we got some work to do this event. Round number 5, of course. Freddy has won here in a lot of the years we've raced. Obviously not last year because we won last year, but this is a good track for Freddy in the past, and yeah, let's hope it's gonna be a good track for him again. He had only scored 1 point so far in the past 4 races, so yeah, he is looking to bounce back hard this event and score some important points for himself and the constructors. Let's see what we can do here in qualifying then. Across the line we go, easy flat out of course through turn number 1. A bit of a weird line into turn 1, and that's because of that weird bottoming we have on some tracks. Silverstone is quite bad for it. Suzuka is by far the worst on the Formula 1 game. And as you see, Thomas Warner go to P1 with a 25.437. But yeah, Silverstone is really bad for it as well. You can see we're moving all the way to the inside on the straight, and that's to avoid bumps. So yeah, also it's not just the bumps, it's also on this track the handling feels so incredibly weird. Like the weird handling feeling we have on initial turn-in is bad on other tracks, but for some reason on this track it's 100 times amplified. Like just 1 degree steering angle and the whole car wants to turn into the corner, but then by the time you get to the apex then it's all gone again. So yeah, it's a weird thing to manage. Anyway, into the final sector we're gonna go. Into stall we go. Just a lift, barely touching the brakes. You can touch the brakes, but you can also just only lift as we head into the final chicane down to 3rd gear, short shifting to 4th. And we're gonna come across the line. It's gonna be a 25.760, and that's not a good lap at all. P7 on the moment, and yeah, as you can see, as we head towards our final run, we are P16 and we're only 600 up, so we're gonna have to get our shit together here in the final sector. 110 up, of course. Purple middle sector. I'm not sure if that's actually true, but yeah, only 900 up. We're gonna have to lock in here in this final sector if we want to make it through, because there's a lot of people that still have to start laps. So into the final sector we're gonna go down to 3rd gear, short shifting to 4th. And we gained a lot through that final 2 corners. Another 10th, and that puts us P4. And that's going to be enough to make it into Q2. And as you can see there, that 1/10 we gained in the final 2 corners was crucial. Because otherwise we would have been P18, P17. So yeah, I'm glad we found that extra 10th in the final 2 corners. Again, it seems like quali pace is not quite there, but as you can see, we're heading out for Q2, and it's raining. We see McLaren going out on softs ahead of us, even though it's clearly raining quite hard. So I was surprised to see that driving out of the pits. And yeah, it's going to be a race towards start-finish now to start our lap, because this rain is going to increase. And yeah, you can see Tom Manley ahead of us starting the lap, and then there is 4 other intermediate runners behind us. The people on slicks have boxed again, and you can see there are a lot of people in the pits that have had to come in again because the slicks were undrivable. We were cruising on our outlap to, you know, keep the tire temperatures cool, and the people on slicks were pushing flat out, going similar pace to us. So yeah, there was no way that was gonna work. And you can see we're tiptoeing around as we put the power down in the last corner of sector 1. Into Brooklyn we go then. 29.694 in the first sector. That doesn't say anything because we have no idea how the track conditions are. Obviously, we've practiced intermediate conditions, we've practiced dry conditions, we've practiced full wet conditions, but this is somewhere in between intermediate conditions and dry conditions, so this is not something anyone has prepared for. As we try to keep it pinned through cops into maggots and baggots, all the way flat out on the F1 game, all the way flat out up until this final right-hander. The grip we have in wet conditions is absolutely insane. I've compared some laps from real life in dry conditions to what we do on F1 24 in the wet, and some cornering speeds in the wet are faster on the game than they do in dry in real life. So that just shows that we've got way too much grip in the wet. We've got way too much grip in general, especially low speed, I think so, on the F1 game. I don't have the data, so I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, that lap has put us in P3. And yeah, because the rain increased, that stayed like that. Barry Borman, Alfie Butcher, Giorgio, Alvaro Carreton out in Q2. And the person you're not seeing in P15 is Ismail Fassi, our championship rival, out in Q2. That's crucial. Obviously, last time out in Jeddah, we gained quite decent points to him. Could have been more. But now, with him in P15, this is huge for the championship. So yeah, let's see what we can do here in Q3 then. As you can see, it is drying up, not raining anymore. Track's still wet. Proper dry line with wet around it. You can see we're cooling our tires already as we head into the final sector. We're quite far up on Tamashkao on this lap. And yeah, wiggling our car around Stowe into the final 2 corners. Let's see where this is going to put us. This is probably going to put us quite far ahead of anyone who set a lap because of the drying track. And it's going to put us P1 for now, but still a lot of people behind us finishing their laps. Jake Benham, 400 is faster than us in P1 right now. Let's see what the rest of the grid is going to do. Freddie Rasmussen, our teammate, 1/10 faster than us, puts us down to P3. Nicolas Longe behind us though, and we are P4 as we head into this final run. You can see the track is pretty much dry, but everyone is still in intermediates, apart from Otis Lawrence, who's currently in P6. So the question is, has he gambled correctly here? Nicolas Longe taking a very big risk there. Same with Otis, starting in our car. And if we did not back off there, then that would have been lap ruined for the both of us. Anyway, Otis Lawrence behind us, quite close behind us. He is gone on slicks, as you can see right there. And now, let's see what we can do on this final run in Q3 in the same conditions last year, or similar conditions last year. We got pole position, that was on the slicks, now we're on the intermediates. We're 2.5 tenths up as we head in towards Brooklyn. DRS not enabled yet, and you can visually see, I think, we're gaining to Nicolas Longe. It's always tough to say exactly because of the braking zones. You know, it always looks like you close in on someone and they're braking, but then on the exit and in the high-speed corners, it looks like they're getting away. You can see Nicolas Longe, a big mistake through cops there. I think he barely kept it on track, and yeah, this is the lap that counts. This previous lap is not important at all. So even though we're P4 at the moment, we might be P9 at the end of the session. Nicolas Longe struggling again with the back end through Maggots and Baggett. That McLaren is by far the earliest to finish a lap as we head into slow. Let's see if we can clutch up again in these final 2 corners. Lucas Blakely at 31.195. Let's see if we can improve on that into the final 2 corners. You can see clearly we've gained quite a bit of time to Nicolas Longe here at the very end of Q3. But is it enough for pole position? It is not. Purple last sector though, but it is only gonna be P7 for round number 5 in the F1 Esports World Championship. Our teammate though, Freddie Rasmussen, in P1 taking that extra point pole by almost 2/10 as well. That's a really impressive lap from him. And that is just what he needed and what we needed. P1, P7 together on the grid. Merck, however, P2, P5, they've got a really strong starting position as well. But yeah, Otis, I think the only one on the softs there. That clearly did not work. Onto the race we go then. Our championship rival, Ismail Fassi, down in P15. This is a great opportunity to score big against him. We're going to be starting on the mediums. It is either going to be between the mediums or the softs. The hards are not in contention in this race. They are useless around here. You can see a lot of soft runners behind us. Nicolas Longe on the softs, Tamas Gal on the softs, and Jake Benham on the softs ahead of us as well. Off the line we go then. Obviously we get out dragged off the line by Nicolas Longe. We kind of got boxed in there by Nicolas Longe. Tamas Gal down the inside. We go around the outside in the next right-hander, just filling up the space. But I know Tamas Gal on the softs on the outside of us is going to have the advantage. We're not going to fight this too hard because it's a losing battle we would have to fight. And yeah, just deciding to turn off the battery as I get a big send down the inside of Barry. And I decided to give him space, otherwise either he would be spun around or I would be spun around. Never sure with the contact model in this game. But yeah, I'm always careful with someone kind of missing their braking point because yeah, obviously you can turn in and you won't be the one getting the penalty, although you never really know with these stewards. It's still, you know, a risk. So you might just take yourself out of the race, and obviously you won't be at fault, but it's still going to be 0 points for you. And in a championship this close, you cannot afford that. So always quite careful with that. As Thomas goes wide into stall, dirty air is going to be really bad on this track. As Tamas Gal sends down the inside into the final 2 corners, can't quite make his way through. And he's going to have to make moves fast. You can see Nicolas Longe in P6 already, making moves fast. And that's just what he needs on that strategy, you know. So let's see if Tamas Gal is going for a move into turn 3 or maybe turn 4. This is a good overtaking opportunity as well. There's a left-hander coming up, and that's just what Tamas does. Into P7 he's going to go, and Thomas knows not to fight it, but I do know this is a great opportunity to straight away go for it. So into Brooklyn we're going to go. I was thinking about it, but decided better off it and just play it a little bit patient. So now let's just be patient. We got Thomas in P7, so there's not huge gains to be found here. Just decided to save some tires for later on. And yeah, Barry kind of did the same behind me, just played it chill until the people on the softs would start boxing. And now we can start making inroads on all the cars ahead. Not sure where Ismail is at this point in the race. Probably starting on the mediums as well. He does tend to start on the harder tire as well. And now we got the top 3 on the mediums boxing. We are staying out, of course, to go longer into this race. Let's see if we can make some moves later on in this race. Not going to be easy. It never is. But it is crucial. We want to score big points. Don't care too much about losing 1 or 2 points if we can score big. That's our aim here. That's what we need to win this championship. So let's push hard on these in laps. We got Alfie Butcher around a second behind us. I felt like at the time I could break DRS, but I didn't because I just wanted to do the next 2-3 laps as fast as possible. And as you can see,
we can take you this lap.
we stayed out another 2 laps to do those in-laps as fast as possible. So we could rejoin closer to the leading train. And yeah, I think it might have worked. Let's see. We got Freddie Rasmussen, our teammate, I think in a net P4 at the moment.
No problems, very smooth. Red Bull will no doubt be very happy with that stop.
Cheers, Crofty. Really needed that. We got Freddie Rasmussen in a net P4 at the moment. I think Jake Benham is... Sorry, Freddie is in a net P5. Jake Benham leading the train with his teammate Danny Bresnay in P3. But they all did box really early, so the question is that gonna work or is it not? And into turn 3 we go. Just about missed DRS, unfortunately, by 1.5 tenths. You can see me brake as late as possible in there to try and get the DRS, but it just wasn't enough. So let's see what we can do here on Ismail Fassi. He's obviously not going to play nice to us because he's our championship rival, or one of our championship rivals, because at this point, out of the 30 drivers, pretty much all the 30 drivers could still win this championship if they would just suddenly start winning every race. So yeah, we're only on like 60 points, and every point is going to count in a championship this close. So let's see. We finally got some DRS here into Maggots and Beckett, barely. We had to use a lot of our battery to close up, and yeah, now we need to recharge our battery before we start making moves. I'm not sure when Ismail and Otis box. I think 1 lap or 2 laps earlier than us. I think Otis 1 lap and Ismail maybe 2. So not a huge tire difference, but yeah, let's see what we can do. 28.1, start of lap 19, and you can see we have closed into Ismail Fassi. Still trying to recharge our battery a little bit, and Ismail is going for some moves now. He makes a mistake into turn number 3, and he knows we are coming on fresher tires. Now we try and go for a late apex to get a good exit out of turn number 4, and go for a move maybe into Brooklands. Again, there's a lot of guys fighting up ahead, so I decided, you know what, let's recharge our battery, wait until this is settled a bit. Maybe we can take advantage of some incidents, and you can see that's exactly happening. Tamas tried to box early onto a set of the mediums, and he just couldn't hold on to his track position. So that is the risk of boxing early. You're at the risk of falling into the clutches of people on fresh tires as Ismail goes wide, battling Joshi Dowu, and he just about makes the move into Maggots and Beckett. And now we are behind Joshi Dowu. Again, not sure when he boxed, but we're gonna go on the attack here. We have boxed the latest out of anyone up ahead, and that gives me confidence to go on the hunt. Into Stowe we go, up to P14. And at the end of this lap, we only got 7 laps remaining. But you can see, there's a huge DRS train. We go down the inside into the final 2 corners, and Ismail leaves us the space nicely. And yeah, respect to him. Obviously, we were on fresher tires. I thought perhaps he would go on a rampage because we are his championship rival, but he kept his head calm and cool and played it fair. Obviously, he's trying to score as much points as possible. It is quite early on to go for those type of tactics. But yeah, P13 it is, behind Otis Lawrence now. And again, we're gonna have to start recharging our battery a little bit here again before we go for more moves. Alfie Butcher in P11, I think boxed 2 laps earlier than us. And yeah, still a lot of fighting going on up ahead. So Otis being on only 1 lap all the tires, I was like, let's not attack him straight away, you know. Let's just sit back a little bit here, recharge our battery, and hope he starts going for a lot of moves as well, because he has a tire advantage over everyone ahead. And yeah, through Maggots and Beckett, you can see Brendan, I think, boxing quite early to the softs, starting to struggle here. And again, not attacking Otis, just trying to work together a little bit here, you know. You can again see Brendan going wide in Stowe. And I think Alfie might go for a move here into the final 2 corners. Brendan defends it. And up ahead you can see Thomas Ronnar and Tom Manley fighting quite hard. Joris cruising down the inside of that final kink. That's always a very tricky one. And now Brandon is going for it again in turn number 1. They're going side by side. I'm not sure everyone stayed on track there, but they've kept it clean. However, I would very much like to start going for some moves here. Alfie gets a big snap on the exit there. I think there might have been some contact. And now we're going to go on the move on Alfie. He has boxed 2 laps earlier than us. And you can see we have a lot of battery to play with here because we were at 100% into turn number 3. And I had to be careful there not to spin Otis around. And yeah, now a lot of cars ahead on quite all tires. Brendan, I think especially. You can see Otis going for it into Cops, can't quite get the move done. We got a good run here, so I was thinking for a brief moment, let's go for it into Maggots. However, I decided to not do that, as Joris gets a 3-second penalty. I think avoiding Otis a little bit there on that first kink, and now again we're sitting on pretty much 100% battery. And we're going to go for the move on Joris. I think Joris below 10% battery, so this is going to be not too hard of a battle. Obviously he can make it very hard, but he will only harm his own race. And now we go for the move again into the final 2 corners. Brendan defends, leaves us the space on the apex nicely, and he stays ahead for the time being. But we still got a lot of battery to play with. We know Brendan has been battling hard in these past few laps, and that's why once again we're gonna go for the move out of turn number 1 into turn number 3. Brendan defends again, but we get the move done this time. And up to P10 we go. 1 point so far, 5 laps to go. A lot fresher tires than everyone ahead. And this has been working nicely. Otis has been getting so far nicely through the field. Let's hope he keeps doing this. Let's hope he keeps going for moves. So we can follow him through and perhaps work together a little bit here. 4 laps to go now then. Otis goes to the move on Tom Manley down the inside. And now we're straight away gonna go for it as well. We got 75% battery to play with here on the exit. And we're gonna use every single bit of that to get past Tom Manley. Up to P9 we go. Did not fight that one too hard. And now Barry Bormand, I think he has boxed quite early out of everyone. So let's hope Otis goes for it straight away again. Because at this rate, we have a chance at a podium here. So into Cops we're gonna go. Recharging our battery. And Otis having a little look into turn 1. And we need him to make this move into turn 3. I was thinking that he was gonna go for it. He didn't, which confused me quite a bit. Because there's only 2 laps to go. And we still got a really good chance here, you know. But we have to make the moves fast if we want to get there. So again, at this point, I was like, if you're not going to go for it, Otis, then we're going to have to start draining our battery in order to try and get past you. Yeah, Thomas Runner in P6 there, Nicolas Longuet in P4. After going for that soft strategy, that has worked really nicely for him. And now we're just trying to recharge our battery a little bit again. Barry going wide in Cops. And yeah, let's see if we can get a good run out of Maggots and Baggots maybe here on Otis. A lot of dirty air, of course, on the F1 Esports build. So we're going to turn on the overtake button once again. And unfortunately, we just can't find our way through again. We would have had to go for a massive send down the inside. But yeah, not working too well at the moment. Again, recharging our battery and just hoping Otis would go for it, because we've got such a big tire advantage to Barry and we're just not using it at the moment. Again, using my battery, but I'm gonna get stuck in turn 1 and yeah, still kind of waiting for Otis to do something at this point. I was kind of done with it, but yeah, we're just gonna have to accept her. We're gonna finish P9 pretty much. We can take a huge risk and go for a move on Otis, but it's only gonna be 2 points, although at the moment we're only scoring 2 points as well. But Ismail Fassi is in P11, and yeah, if I take both me and Otis out and perhaps Tom Manley behind us as well, then Ismail is suddenly going to score 4 points, which is going to be not ideal as Tom Manley and Ismail Fassi behind us are going argy-bargy. I think we're not going to be able to really do anything anymore here. We just have to hope that Otis is maybe really aggressive and goes for a move. You can see him trying to get rotation through Maggots and Baggots, taking those inside curves, but there's too much dirty air, too much DRS trains. Yeah, you can see we're just not closing. Still hoping at this point that yeah, Otis will do something. You might be wondering why is he not using his battery. I was just taking some distance in case Otis would go for a move, so we would have space for maybe a switchback or something.
Yes, guys, yes! Come on, boys!
But yeah, we couldn't pull it off. Luckily though, our teammate Freddie Rasmussen getting his first win, scoring 26 points, and that is huge for the championship, of course, for the constructors. Even though I had a terrible day, only scoring 2 points, Freddie scoring 26. Unfortunately, Mercedes scoring 33 in total, so that is like 5 more than us, even though Freddie won. But yeah, Freddie only scoring 1 point last event, and now straight away 26. That's very, very good for us. We just have to, yeah, both score top 5s if we want to win this constructors, and maybe snatch away 1-2 at some point, because Merck is getting away at the moment from us. And as you can see right here, we are far behind. We're 34 points behind. However, we gain in the Drivers' Championship once again, somehow. Only P9, but we close in by 2 points. And I feel like up until this point, I can't believe we're second in the championship, because I felt like I've driven a horrible season so far, but we're still in P2. It's like everyone is driving a horrible season because it's so close. You know, Bahrain scoring 0 points was a big loss, and then Jeddah losing the win was a big loss. And now again, only P9. But somehow we're just getting away with it. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. We need to lock in the coming few rounds if we want to win this championship. And see you guys next time. And don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to check out my merchandise on jarnoholmir.com. And don't forget to use my code in the EA app if you order F125. Very simply, because I get money then. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time. Ciao.